What is up? Welcome in to Toilets to Titles. This is an off-season breakdown, the Green Bay Packers edition, which I'm very excited to do. I am Nate Wallen. You can find me on Twitter at Nate_Dirt19. I'm joined by my normal co-host, Bobby Winter. You can find him on Twitter at Bobby A. Winter. And tonight we have a very special guest, Mr. Matt Ramage himself, the host of The Matt Ramage Show. You can find him on Twitter at Matt Ramage. What's up, Matt? How you doing, man?
What is up? Thanks for having me. Yeah, dude. I decided to crack a beer. I wasn't gonna, but
I just did.
I had no plan. Yeah, I was thinking like if I'm up at 9 o'clock at night, like I'm either I'm drinking. Usually I'm in bed hours ago. I'm old, dude.
Hell yeah! I just put the kids to bed and had a couple already, and they're tasting pretty good tonight, which makes you a little nervous. It's Thursday, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'll have a few beers for like a podcast, and then I'll start getting into it. Like, oh, now I want to keep drinking, but like I work at 4 a.m. That alarm goes off quick. Yeah. Those mornings are brutal.
Yeah, for sure. Bobby, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm really excited to get into this offseason breakdown. I'm excited to have Matt on the show. Let's get started, man.
Yeah, for sure. So I know we're kind of almost out of the offseason, but it's still the offseason. It's preseason football, so we can still talk about all the fun stuff that we've got to go over for the last few months. So before we get started real quick, you can find the show at Toilets Titles on Twitter. Check out our website, toiletstyles.com. All of our content, articles, everything's on there. If you're watching this on YouTube, which you are because this doesn't get released on Apple and iTunes, I just remembered, please hit the like and subscribe and the little bell so you know when we're going live. And if you do want to get into our Gilded Chat, which we talk about on our other shows, talk to everything fantasy, NFL, gambling, whatever you want, we talk about it. So check that out. Shoot me a DM. So anyways, let's get into it. And before I forget to, Matt, is there anywhere else you got anything going on besides, the Matt Ramage Show, which is hilarious and I love to watch, and then Twitter? You got anything else working on right now?
Oh, I do my live stream like on YouTube and Facebook. I got like a thing this season where I have a pick'em league, and whoever gets the number one spot, I'm gonna give a jersey from the Packers Pro Shop. But not really a lot. I mean, Instagram, I'm going down for like all these tailgates, like throughout the season. I'm gonna do this where I go down and get content and just talk to fans, try to get fans' point of view, like some goofy stuff, but also during the season, like people's thoughts. Let the people have a voice. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So I'm jacked for this season.
That's awesome.
Yeah, join the club. We're both. We started our show, our weekly Packers show, like I don't know, 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago, and every week it's just like more excitement. It's a weird feeling. It's different than it's ever been. That I can remember. It feels like.
Yeah, it is. I think that's what makes it exciting. Like the same when Rodgers first started, like it was like just different. Like a little scary. Change is scary, but I'm excited. Not just the quarterback, but like the whole offense is young, and there's no one like anywhere near my age in that offense.
That's what me and Nate were talking about. We were saying, I'm 36 years old. The only quarterbacks I've ever known are Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. So this is going to be the first time I'm going into a season where I'm going to see somebody starting for the first time as an adult. It's going to be incredible. I'm beyond excited.
Yeah, and it's funny because when people say that, like, that you basically only known Rodgers and Favre, but it's crazy. That's two quarterbacks, and I'm old. And, like, I remember Don Mikowski, but I was a kid playing outside in the snow in a snowsuit. But, like, Favre's been playing, like, I was a teenager. And, like, it's such a wide, like we how long that span was with great quarterbacks. But, it ain't done yet. We'll see.
Hey, you never know. We go 3 for 3. It could happen.
Dude, it would be so amazing. Like, not just if Jordan Love was good, but, like, if he was great, like, I would love it so much. I don't even care how many Super Bowls the Packers would win, just so I could just rub it in everyone's face who's saying, like, oh, you can't have more than 2. Like, yeah, usually you won't even have 2. And we wouldn't if some of our rivals in the division actually drafted Rodgers. That's what I wish I remind them. When they say, you had 2 quarterbacks, like, you could have stopped it from happening.
Absolutely.
But it's like when Rodgers took over, it's like, oh, you won't you won't have another rep. You won't have another Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like, well, we had 2 in a row.
But it would be. I mean, and I sure wouldn't expect it, but like,
No.
I would love it so much. I mean, not obviously everyone would, all Packer fans, because it means that we're good. But just for the just talking crap part, it's extra. I would love that. It would be a lot of fun.
I've been getting a lot of talking to people that you don't always talk football with, but that like at work and stuff, and they're like, well, you're gonna know what it feels like now. It's like, well, we don't really know. Actually, we might not. I don't know. So
yeah, I don't expect to know, because even if the Packers weren't like a quarterback dominant team or whatever, like if the defense was a strong point, I feel like the Packers organization is smart enough to put. I know a lot of people don't have high opinions on some of the people in the front office, but they're not going to let the franchise just dwindle away and like become like the Vikings or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
We're going to take as many shots as possible on this podcast tonight.
Yeah, it's just random shots. Like, and I actually tried not to. I wasn't going to do it. I'm like, I got to do it.
No, I respect it. We love, I take a lot of shots at the Bears. It's just, I respect some of the guys, but there's just some days where you're just like, I can't do it anymore. Dude. I can't not say anything.
Yeah, especially like this offseason, the Bears fans have been they topped the Vikings. Oh, yeah. Viking fans are like the worst. This offseason, they haven't been like real loud. Nope. Like as far as like trolling me or whatever. Bears fans are just all over the place, and they're like 3-win team, and now they're gonna be the best team ever. Like
you had the number 1 pick in the draft for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, and they get like mad because like I made that video of me like. I was at a tailgate. The Bears Still Suck song came on. I did a little dance. I made a video. Dude, on Facebook, they went all over me. They're like, oh, this dude's crying, blah, whatever. And they're like saying all this stuff. But I'm like, dude, you guys did the same thing. But you only had like 12 people doing it. Green Bay sucks at their family fest. Like nobody was there. I'm like, you tried. You just couldn't do it. I wasn't mad about it. You had 12, 13 people you had there were giving it their best. But, like, dude, it's not that serious. Like, it's a rivalry. Dude, I love talking trash. And when they talk trash back to me, I don't care. Like, Bears fans literally will send me memes. And if it's funny, like, I'll laugh. I'm not going to be like, I'm all in my feelings because of a picture on the internet. But, like, but the Bears fans have been cool, like, for the last few years. Like, I go back and forth with a lot of cool ones. But, like, this year, like, there's a lot of pansies out there. I don't know. Maybe, like, I have no idea what's going on. But, like, they just went all Viking. And you never go all Viking.
You can't.
You can't do it.
No, you can't.
Yeah, they've been insufferable this offseason. But, all right, so the biggest offseason move was clearly moving on from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Can you tell us your thoughts about that from the beginning?
Yeah, dude, I think it was just time. But, like, I was arguing with people, for the last 3 years, like, when all the rumors were starting. And I was like, Aaron Rodgers isn't getting traded. Like, I was, like, just in there talking trash. And then this year, like, I didn't really say anything because I was like, I don't know, man. This year, it might be. And because, like, I knew that they were at that step. The same thing with Favre and Rodgers. Like, if you go another year, does this guy even want to re-sign? So even if he is good, you might have just ticked him off. Especially with that Rodgers, Favre was different because, retirement and all that. But I think the same thing was coming. Like, how Jordan Love isn't going to sit on the bench forever. Like, he's not. And then if you make him sit too long, he might be like, well, I'll just go see what I can do somewhere else. And then you lose both. So I think it was time. And both sides, it seemed like there was obviously, like, some stuff, behind closed doors that they weren't. I mean, I think most people knew that there was something, but whatever. I don't think that they could get past it. But, Rodgers in New York, I'm excited about Jordan Love, like I said, and this offense, this young offense, like they're all going to grow together. These young wide receivers, these young tight ends, Jordan Love. I'm excited, but yeah, the thing with Rodgers, like I don't really talk about it too much, like on my podcast, but I know that there's like a war, like podcasters, like people are like, stop talking about it. Then people are like not talking about it enough, and if you don't talk about it, people told me because I don't talk about them, I hate them. But like, there's like so much because like I'm not afraid to talk about. Like I'll talk about it if I want to, but like I'm not gonna talk about it just to talk about him. But I got no hate for Rodgers. Like he got a Super Bowl. I defended him his whole career because that's kind of like I just defend the Packers. That's what I do. I'm very biased. I'm a big old homer. But and I still will when people say dumb stuff. But I'm not gonna be like rooting for the Jets and like watching Jets and being like go Jets. Like that's not me. But wish them well, and obviously I want the best pick.
Yeah,
that the Packers can get. But I'm not going to be like rooting against him. Like if he gets touched on, I'm like, arr. I'm just going to like whatever it is, it is. But you know, good luck to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm the same way. You know, I'll probably watch him a little bit because they'll be in prime time. You know, it was very weird that first episode of Hard Knocks, seeing him in a Jets jersey and helmet. I was like, oh,
yeah. There was some funny stuff on that one.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great. But
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw clips. But he is hilarious.
Yes, he is, and you know, it's all I've ever known is him. So yeah. I mean, I don't really remember Favre, you know, but it's like all I've ever known. So, like I said, I'll definitely be rooting for him. I mean,
I feel old now.
Well, no, I didn't watch football. All I did was watch baseball when I was little. I'm 34, so like, I mean, I was around, but I didn't watch a lot of football. Growing up, we never watched it. So. That's why I should say that. Not that I'm like, you know, 18 years old or something. You know?
Oh, let's say I feel like legendary.
So moving on to the draft, I guess. Unless Bob, you got anything about Rodgers you want to talk about, or we don't need to beat a dead horse unless you got something.
Yeah, just real quick. What did you think about the trade compensation?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I thought it was good. Like I think that they were in a weird spot because like everyone knew like. Yeah, but it was so publicized that everyone was talking about it. I felt like that they were going back and forth. I didn't expect the Packers actually, in the end, to get what they got. I mean, all has to do with that 65%, which I think is key, so the Jets don't get screwed. Like, if he gets hurt, whatever, then, you know, they get whatever. But I thought it was good. I forget what it actually was now. Was it 2 firsts?
They swapped firsts. And then it's a second that can become a first with the 65%. And then they swapped some late day 3 picks. But yeah, I mean, I thought that he did exceptionally well trading Rodgers because like you said, it was very public. Everybody knew like we were going to move on from Aaron Rodgers. So it just seemed like, and it also seemed like the Jets were really the only team that was very, very interested in him. So for them to get what they got, I thought it was remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, there was pressure, like, if it went so long.
Right.
I mean, the whole thing with that, though, people were saying, well, Rodgers would have showed up. I don't think Aaron Rodgers would have done extra stuff to, like, make Jordan Love, like, suffer. Like, if there was some drama between the Packers. I mean, I didn't expect that to happen anyways, because I don't think all parties know this needs to happen. The Jets want, especially if the Jets wouldn't have got him. If they'd have fell through, it wasn't like they were like, well, we tried. Their fans would have went crazy because they were like all in on that. They were so excited. If they'd have been like, well, we tried. So like, I think all sides like had to, they did. But if they wouldn't have, they would have been an interesting story.
No, you're right. I think MetLife would have burnt to the ground if they didn't actually pull the trade off.
Well, then maybe they could have finally played in New York. The one thing, and I think I'd said it a while back, but you know, like it seemed like that. You know, at the point when the Jets and the Rodgers stuff was going on, like there weren't any other quarterbacks for the Jets to try to pick up. Like that was it.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, we kind of had all the leverage, and then like the rest of the stuff came out, and it was like, oh shit, like are we gonna get like is it gonna work out well? And I was happy with the trade compensation.
I
think so.
I thought that in the end that they were gonna get shafted.
Yeah.
Because the longer it went, I thought the Packers like at some point we were like, all right, whatever, just take them. It's like the last thing you sell at a rummage sale.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this. I'll just take it. No, but I'm glad that they got what they got. I think Goody is underrated. I think he he gets hit on that. I don't think he's perfect and like he's all like whatever, but I think he's done some stuff for just like wow, you know.
Absolutely.
They got guys like Jair.
I was going to say, I think he knocked it out of the park with last year's draft. And actually, it leads me to my next question I wanted to ask you. So the Packers had 13 selections in this in this past draft. What was your favorite pick? What was your least favorite pick?
I'm not sure. Like, I like that they went and got young tight ends. Like, I think tight end is key, especially for young quarterback. Like, I remember like those old Favre days, like the tight ends. You know, every quarterback throws the tight ends, but yeah, like I remember those days. Like if you have a solid tight end, like when they had Finley when he was doing his thing, I think tight end's huge. So I was pumped that they got some young tight ends. I mean, I did love me some Robert Tonyan.
Sure.
But
not
end
now.
of an era. No, he unfollowed me on Instagram. He was embarrassed. But I unfollowed him back. But no, but I get why he would unfollow me, because if you play for the Bears, like, you would not want to follow me on Instagram. Because like, if you lose a game, you might just turn on Instagram and see me dancing around laughing at you. You don't need, I mean, I don't take shots at players or whatever, but I enjoy trolling Bear fans. But so I get it that he goes to the Bears. Like, I know right away I don't. And you know, like, he was like a Bear fan, I think, growing up. I think someone said so. You know, that's cool for him. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited about the tight ends. My least favorite, like, I'm not sure. Because first of all, I'm not like good enough to even talk about the draft to be like, that was stupid. Because like I'm not like a college guy, so I'm not like really good enough to even like start. Like, usually what I do is, like, after the draft, like, I'll look up guys and I'll listen to people who know what they're talking about talk, and then I'll just copy what they say for my podcast. No, I don't. I'm honest with people. Like, I don't know enough to be out here. Like, I mean, like, to a certain degree, I do. Especially like mid-season, you know, I get a little bit better, but my memory is not good. Especially like I watch the games and everything. I'll be drinking. And like, I have a podcast the next day, talk about the game. Like, man, I should watch that again.
That's why we decided to change our podcast to Sunday nights in season, so I can remember them easier. Because I got the same problem.
Yeah. My memory is like horrible. I think I have dementia or something. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, there was a couple things with the draft that I think Bobby and I talked about. Like, I'm still not quite sure this whole safety position thing. I'm a little worried about it. You know, we drafted one safety and picked up Jonathan Owens, and then the guy that Bobby told me his name before the show, and I forgot it.
Tarvarius Moore.
Tarvarius Moore. Like, I'm worried about that position. But it kind of brings me to like the free agent acquisitions that we had, or the lack thereof. You know, if you have any other thoughts on Jonathan Owens or anything like that, because we don't really have any free agents to talk about.
Yeah, I think that like the safety position seems to be like the weak spot, like on the defense, or like the spot that doesn't have like a superstar. But I'm pumped for Rudy Ford. I had him on my podcast, and I don't know. He seems like he's like driven, like severely. Like, even like I follow on Instagram, he's commented on a few things of mine. Like, he seems fired up. So like, I'm excited about him. I mean, Savage, like everyone knows, like, I don't know. Safety is definitely, though, is that question mark.
With Savage last year, like, there was games last year where he looked great, like he had early in his career, and then there were games where it was like, dude, it was like he had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah. There's times like you see Savage and he just like he'll just be like running past the play.
Yeah,
like it's like.
I'm no expert by any means. Like, when you look at the field and you see him like not even close to the play, you're like, what?
Yeah, and it's kind of like, yeah. And like you say, like, I hate to say it too, because like, who am I? I've never been athletic a day in my life. But like, I definitely think that that's the position that people are going to be watching. But I am hyped for Rudy Ford. Plus, whenever dudes come on my podcast, like, I root for them till the day they die. But I really do think that he seems hyped up. I mean, I'm sure like all players are like hyped, but like if you talk to a guy like Rashawn Gary, like Rashawn Gary's like the most motivated person I think I've ever met in my life. Like, he's so serious about his job. I did that Quick Trip video with him.
Yep.
Or we were both in or whatever, but I just talked to him for a couple minutes just waiting, and he's just like, he's locked in. Like, he takes it very, like, this is his job. I mean, they all take it serious, but I'm just saying that's why I'm not surprised that Rashawn Gary's coming back as fast as he is, because he's just so, you know, like that dude doesn't take days off, like, literally. I take so many.
You got to. You know, we got tough stuff. You know, we're busy. We got a lot going on.
Yeah, like, dude, I get vacation days. All right, I'm gonna take some days off. People always say no days off. Like, no, I'm gonna need to I need to sleep in sometimes.
Hell yeah. Yeah, what's the next one, Bobby? I'll let you take him.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Packers.
Yeah, I forgot what we were even talking about there.
So the Packers obviously moving forward with Jordan Love, you would think that they would have considered signing a veteran quarterback to back him up. but they didn't. Instead, they drafted Sean Clifford, and the quarterback room is very young. What are your thoughts on them not bringing in a veteran quarterback?
So I wonder, like, if you bring in a veteran quarterback with a young quarterback there, like, you like threaten that quarterback. Like, I mean, I don't think that they would have. I think Jordan Love is, like they've been telling him you're that guy. But like, I think a veteran quarterback sometimes might, like, have that. It depends who the veteran is. But I think that their thing is like they want to go young. I feel like they're just like, dude, we're going young everywhere.
Oh,
like, let's get kicker, everyone. But except for defense, like not defense, let's get crazy. But and Clifford's been like, people are excited about him. A lot of people on Facebook think he's the starter. I've been having arguments with people. Like someone on Twitter was saying that, like, because someone said he's QB1, Jordan Love, and you're like, no, he's not. And I'm like, well, he literally is because the coach said it. He's like, no, he hasn't proven himself. I'm like, QB1 just means you're the starting quarterback. The coach said you're the starting quarterback. You are. You can't be on Twitter like, nope, I refuse. Like, no, dude, you don't get a say. This is not democracy.
Black and white. It's a depth chart. Just look at the
it's just a depth. Like, I don't know what they think QB1 means. Like GOAT. Like, it just means starting quarterback. That's all anyone's saying. But anyways. But
Sean Clifford has played a lot more in the preseason, so he's probably going to be the starter because he's played more games.
I know. They're like, that's why they're playing him in preseason, because they're really excited about him. No, but he looked like good. Like he looks crazy. Like he's just like, will do anything for a play. I don't watch a ton of preseason. Like I usually don't watch the whole thing. I'm a bad podcaster because preseason, like, get towards the end. And it depends, like one game I was at the bar, so I was watching, but I was also talking to people and doing stuff. And then one game I was at home, and by like the third quarter, I was like, all right, we get it.
Yeah,
a lot of young guys. But I think that their thing was like just going all young, and I kind of like it. Like, it depends who the veteran backup would have been, because like if it's someone like who like won a Super Bowl one time, like if it's like Nick Foles, like I don't think that would be good. Because then you have, you want your quarterback, like, you're our guy, like, you are the franchise, and, like, we sinkers swim with you. Like, you want him to take that on, not like, hey, if you slip, bro, this dude. Yeah. I mean, not that Clifford's, like, going to be a bum because, like, he looks like he's a dude, but he's definitely not someone that, like, week 4, they're going to be like, well, let's make it a switch,
Right. Yeah, I think, and I actually heard somebody talking about today, like, if, God forbid, let's say Love were to get hurt, week 2, like, I don't know if Sean Clifford would just automatically become the starter. Like, I would not be surprised if they were, like, at that point go like, hey, Carl Wentz, I know you stink, but you played in the NFL before. Like,
yeah, and they could do that because that's kind of.
I don't know. Like I said, Sean Clifford has looked great, but it's also the preseason. That could be a rough year if that were to happen. I just because, like, I think LaFleur today said, like, Clifford's he's our QB2, like he's the backup, and Magoo or whatever, he's another very young guy. So it's not like,
he has a cool name.
It's a great name. It's great. I love it. I mean, I don't want that to happen, but but I think you might be right because, like, they're like, oh, he's our number 2. But like, if something did happen like week 2, and I don't want to put no bad energy on Jordan Love, but if something was like long-term type of year type of thing, that they would be like, hey, maybe we go get a veteran. It depends who is out there, like who they could get, and because I'm sure that they're confident in Clifford, but like I'm not sure let's throw the whole year on him. I mean, like, I don't know. Hopefully, we don't have to find out. 14 games confident in Clifford.
I'm not sure, but yeah, that's some bad energy we're putting out there with this.
It's not going to happen anyway. But
yeah, it's like something happens, that's going to be clipped. You're like, that's right there. These guys.
No, Nate and I have talked about it a lot over the last couple of months. I don't think, with the draft pedigree he had, with how well he played in college, and also sitting and learning behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years and being in the same offensive system for the last 3 years, I just don't expect him to come out and fall on his face. You know what I mean? He's had so many things put in place for him to come out and to at least play as well as Rodgers did in his first year. Rodgers went 6-10 in his first year. I'm thinking the floor for this team is 6 wins. In my prediction, I actually had them go 9 wins, which could be a little optimistic. People know I'm a little bit more of a glass half full kind of guy, but I explain my picks well, and I think, anything could happen. I mean, you never know. Obviously, injuries can happen and stuff that can totally derail a season, but we're pretty optimistic over here on the Lambeau Speak podcast. So
yeah, so am I. But you are so true about Jordan Love. I feel like this is a perfect situation. Like if you're a quarterback, and I get they want to start right away or whatever, but if you could sit 3 years behind a Hall of Fame quarterback and study it and then get the whole thing handed to you, get some young weapons. Obviously, a lot of guys would like to have a nice vet wide receiver or whatever, but I think that they got a good group. And he did it the right way. He never talked. The same with Aaron Rodgers when he was the backup to Favre. Didn't talk. He eventually did. He started saying some stuff. But Jordan Love just sat there. He did exactly what he was supposed to do, and now this is his time. I don't expect him to fall on his face at all. I think he's going to be ready. He's got the support, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, all these guys, but especially those two because those are the veteran guys. I think Aaron Jones will help a lot too, being back there. Yeah. Not that he needs pointers from a running back or whatever, but just someone back there has his back, a veteran leader. And I think Jordan Love has all the right situation. You just got to go show everyone.
Absolutely. No, I mean, think about how many first-round quarterbacks come into the league, and within their first 3 seasons, they've had 2 different head coaches, 3 different offensive coordinators. Yeah. I mean, he's literally had the same head coach. Obviously the offensive coordinator changed, but it doesn't really matter because it's Matt LaFleur's offense anyways. So he's been learning under LaFleur, under Rodgers for 3 years. But I'm going to go back to, this is the last question I had for you. You had mentioned the word veteran a lot. How they didn't sign or pursue a veteran quarterback. They also decided to not do that in the wide receiver room. What are your thoughts on that? And how do you see the wide receiver room playing out? Do you have, do you think they're going to keep 5, 6, 7 wide receivers? Who do you think is going to make the team?
I was kind of surprised that they didn't try to get a veteran wide receiver, but also not, because I get they want to just go young and these guys get all the reps. They don't want, it depends who that vet would be. I think if it was just some vet, because I always compare it to Madden, because I'll be trying to get some guy or whatever, and I think if you're going to pay a bunch of money and then you see this guy is barely better than this guy and he's younger, you you just go with the young guy. And then I think that's how it is for them. I mean, I don't know if I explained that very good, but
no, it was
absolutely.
But I feel they're saying there's not a vet there's not a Devontae Adams that they're going to sign. So we'll just go with the young guys. I think Christian Watson, I said this last year, I think he's going to be an absolute superstar. I'm not going to compare him Devontae Adams, but I think that he could be in that top 5, 10, wherever you want to put a list. Not now, but eventually. And then Romeo Doubs, a lot of people are huge on him too, and he's been showing it, and he's a baller in Madden. And but I think I could see them keeping. I'm not sure because once you get to the bottom of that depth chart, I wish I had it up here, but it gets a little, especially on Madden. That's right. Comparing, I haven't played a lot of Madden the last couple of days, but I think that they have 3 dudes that can really because I don't feel with Devontae, Jordy, when they had them, it was always about them. It's going to be about spreading the ball around. I don't think Christian Watson's going to get he's not going to have where he's just the main guy getting 8 catches. I mean, he might have those days. Hopefully, I wouldn't be mad, but I feel that they're really going to filter it out. I think Aaron Jones is going to catch balls. I feel the passing game is just going to be so it's going to be one of those when they're 15 guys caught a pass today, whatever. Just they're bringing everyone in, and who wants to catch a ball?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
You catch a ball. You catch a ball.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like young wide receivers. I like young quarterbacks. Keep comparing to Madden, but when I play Madden, I just like to tear stuff up. I got a new quarterback. That's why I don't like playing with the Packers because I want to go to a team I can just cut their quarterback, and I can't ever cut Aaron Rodgers or trade Aaron Rodgers on Madden. But back when I was doing that, but I think it's exciting then, because you don't know this wide receiver, and then all of a sudden he could be Donald Driver. Nobody knew no one was supposed to know who he is. Right. Especially this much later, but he became that household name. I think any of these guys can do it. You don't have to be a top pick. Everyone complains about the Packers. Oh, they don't have no first round wide receivers. Even though they have one like two picks away, and that don't count.
No. Right. Yeah. Christian Watson, 2 picks away from being a first round pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like right after that, they were still saying like, well, he almost was. Like, I get it, but it's like, dude, like, you don't have to be a first round wide receiver to be a good wide receiver in the league, especially if not for the Packers.
Right.
I still remember, and I think I've talked to Bobby about it. It's like early Devonta Adams in his career, you were like, dude, this guy stinks. Like,
yeah, everyone wanted him gone.
My first game at Lambeau ever was a Monday Night Football game against the Falcons, and they won. But I remember that game, Devontae played bad, and I'm like, dude, what? This guy's terrible. You know, and then like the next year, it's like, oh, well, we got a guy. Yeah,
it's like the Devontae Adams thing is so weird because everybody wanted him gone.
Yeah,
and then he ended up being like, you know, arguably the best wide receiver in Packers history. I mean, like, obviously, like, longevity, there's a lot of the guys, whatever. But, like, just skill-wise, he's one of those dudes. Yeah. Like, yeah, he's just, like, he's so good. I mean, when you talk about Packers history, that there's a few other guys. But, yeah, Devontae Adams is, like, just ridiculous how good he is.
Yeah, it was.
And then he left. He's like, this is the greatest wide receiver ever. He's like, and I'm out.
I'm going home because Derek Carr's there. And then, no.
Yeah,
he's not
that
there.
didn't end well.
Just kidding.
Yeah, that really didn't end well for him. But I mean, if his goal was to play like at home so his family can see him easier, then like it doesn't matter. Because like people are like, oh, he regretted that decision, but maybe not. I mean, family's important. Like if that's what he wants, I'm assuming that he's like not loving everything on that football team right now.
No, he's been pretty vocal this offseason. He wasn't really a vocal guy in Green Bay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't upset or anything. He was, you know, he kind of towed the line. He was like the model. You know, everybody would say like wide receivers are divas, but Devontae Adams is the exception. You know, he's been pretty vocal this offseason about his unhappiness.
Yeah, and like really he should be. Like I think that what it is, like even with Rodgers, like he didn't say nothing early on in his career, did exactly kind of what he was supposed to do. Gave the media all the answers that he was supposed to give. Then as they get like veteran, they understand their status and they're like, all right, I'm gonna say some stuff now. And I feel like Devontae Adams like going over there, he's a superstar, and he doesn't like how things are going. He's like, just he's gonna speak up on it. But yeah, the Raiders are that situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not a Raider fan.
No.
All right, Nate, did you have anything else?
Oh yeah. So we just obviously talked about Watson and Dobbs, but are there any other guys like that you're looking to take, especially like maybe a third year guy, that you're excited about how his season was last year, and that you're looking to take that next step? Because I got one in mind that I talk about every day, but I want to hear your
on offense. Is there any 3-year guys?
Well, I think or defense. Yeah, offense.
No.
I don't think so.
Like, yeah, let's say, like, guys who, like, I'm excited for, like, on defense, Rashawn Gary, like, hopefully he comes back, like, that, injury's all right. Like, I mentioned Rudy Ford. But, like, Preston Smith, I want to see Preston Smith absolutely ball out and just get, like, an insane amount of sacks. But I want that every year. But, like, I really want, because I feel like Preston Smith never really gets the respect I think that he should. I think he's a baller. He's always in the right spot. Like he's like when the quarterbacks do like the fakes, like he doesn't get sucked in. He does some great stuff. Then we got that rookie. I'm kind of wondering like how they're going to use him. I mean, you said 3-year guys, but like he's a guy that. But yeah, I think Campbell too. Like how he had that big flash on, and everyone was like, "Arr!" But like see how he does this year. I think actually. I would say my number one after I named the whole team, but Quay Walker. Yeah. Quay Walker is a dude because of what he went through. Like at the end of last season, everyone hated him. He made a mistake, and I'd like to see him bounce back. And they were saying like all those fights that were at training camp, he stayed out of all of them. He like of all the guys that got dinged for like hitting people or doing whatever, like he stayed out of it. So he was just like, no, you ain't getting me. But I'm excited I'm excited to see him bounce back because I felt bad for him because like he obviously did something wrong, but like he obviously like had some feelings about that, So I assume that he learned from it. Like this offseason, tried to do whatever he's got to do, And I think he's the guy, and everyone else I mentioned.
So
That's awesome.
My favorite guy that Bobby also knows, JJ Nagbari or Kingsley. I call him JJ. That's what we're calling him now. That's I every day that's who I'm waiting to see. That's my guy. I've said it since he got drafted, like the steal of the draft. I think he's been great, filling in. When Rashawn Gary got hurt, he stepped up. The preseason game doesn't matter. Last week he looked awesome. I'm excited for him. I'm so excited.
I like that. That's a good one.
And I think him not, I think I saw Andy Herman tweeted like a depth chart kind of thing today, like who were the starters for defense, and he wasn't because Rashawn Gary was there and Preston Smith, obviously, which makes sense. But yeah, I'm very excited for him to.
I think like the depth, like even just that linebacker, like I like all those guys. Like
yeah,
like if somebody couldn't go for some reason, I feel like that they're all right, and that's not been the case like the history of the Packers for linebacker.
No.
But yeah, I'm excited about these guys.
Yeah, it'll be fun. That front seven, or however many you go to call it, depending on what they're in, I guess, will be a good one. But
I think so.
The other, I guess, my last question, I think that I can think of, because we kind of usually ask it. So we'll go around the room, but what are, I guess, your expectations for the team this year, and like, what will make it a good season in your opinion?
I actually I expect them to win the division, because I think that NFC North is very winnable, and by all fan bases besides the Bears should believe that. Bears should not. They're
winning the Super Bowl. The Bears have a parade. The parade is already scheduled. They're ready. They're winning.
Well, I feel like the Lions, Vikings, and Packers all have fan bases, all have reason to believe that they can win the division. But like Packers are the only ones that are gonna. But I expect them to. I expect them to play well. I don't expect them to go, win 13, 14 games. I think that they're going to have some slips. I think that they're going to beat some teams that they probably shouldn't beat. People are saying that they shouldn't. I think that they'll be better. But what was the other part of that question? I forget.
I guess what would make it a good season for you?
Oh, what would make it a good season?
I if we want a Super Bowl, but like a realistic, like at the end of the year, you're like, hey, I'm happy. Love looked good, blah blah blah. Like, what do you think?
I think that even with Rodgers' first year, Rodgers didn't have a horrible season, but they went 6-10. He threw for 4,000 yards. I don't know his exact stats, but he did have a year and they went 6-10. So if Jordan Love did that same thing, but the offense just for whatever reasons they weren't getting it done, maybe the defense slipped. I still think that a good season is watching this offense grow, like watch his receivers do something, watching Jordan Love execute the offense, be a good leader. Hopefully they do better than 6-10. I think they will, but I think making it a good year. First of all, I'm gonna have fun either way, because that's just what I do. Like people always say, if the Packers suck, we won't have to see you no more. Like, dude, I'll still be making videos. I'll still roast the Bears. That's why I try to explain to people, the point of the Bears still suck. The still means doesn't matter what happens. I don't care what happens with the Bears. They still suck. That's the point. But I think a good year is just that Jordan Love showing that he's that dude. Even if it's not a great win-loss record, if he shows everyone all right, he's that dude. And Christian Watson, a lot of these guys, pop off like they're supposed to, they don't have, you don't want to be going backwards. No. Especially for the guys who are already here.
I couldn't have put it better myself. Yeah. It's just, you want to see growth from Jordan Love. You want to see the young players grow and get better and kind of build on to next season. I mean, if you can win the division, great, but I don't think this team's competing for a Super Bowl. But what you want to do is build a nice foundation for next year, where they're going to have a lot more cap space and they could be more aggressive.
Definitely. Sure. Yeah. They're definitely putting themselves in position. I feel like just like the running back situation, when they had Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, they drafted A.J. Dillon. They're probably thinking we might lose Aaron Jones, because I thought they were going to. And then, so they were just preparing that they had that piece in there before. And I feel like that they do that with a lot. Like with the receivers right now, they're like, let's just stack this, young team with some pass catchers, tight ends and all that, and then watch them grow and see who hits.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like with the receiver room, like we're just throwing darts and surely a couple of them are going to work, And,
because like they're like, hey, because like they're scouts, they have scouts, they watch guys that like we think this guy can do it, but like, obviously they're not always right. So like kind of like the Lions, they used to draft a wide receiver number 1 overall for like 12 years. They're like they got Kelvin Johnson, Lion fans like we have one of the best receivers ever. Like you should have like 9 of them, bro.
And hey, pay the damn guy, get rid of the curse, right? That's the problem.
Yeah, dude. I fully believe in football curses. Like I believe the Bears have a quarterback curse, because like it doesn't matter if you're good. You go to Chicago, that's not gonna happen for you. Just like Jay Cutler, like he was pretty decent for the Broncos back in the day. He went to the Bears. I remember being really upset when Jay Cutler went to the Bears, because I was like, he's a good quarterback. Not like the greatest quarterback in the league or whatever, but he was a functioning quarterback. He goes to the Bears and he's like throwing max interceptions. It was a great thing. But like I feel like it's just Trubisky, or not even like the guys that they have that are good, but they just don't pan out. It's just like maybe like something in that building, like the coaches, like
they're building Justin Field in Arlington Park. They're going to redo it.
Yeah.
They already named it. It's already done.
Maybe maybe that's the jinx, or whatever you want to hex or whatever. It's over there. Like we'll just go over here then.
Just go down the road. It'll be fine. Oh yeah. No, I agree. I said I don't expect. So 2.5, 3 months ago, I was like, I think we're gonna get exposed. That's mainly because I hate the defensive coordinator. I'm sorry, I can't get behind him. I just can't do it. I hate to talk down about guys, but I can't. I feel like we should perform a lot better than we have.
Oh yeah, with the guys that they have for sure.
Yeah. So but now like the closer we get, maybe it's just I'm getting excited for the season. Like I'm like, no, I think we can win this division. Like I think we can play some good football. And I thought we'd play good football, but 8 to 10 wins, win the division. I would be pumped, but I think like you guys both said, I can't say, we can't say it enough, just to show the growth and development and that like, hey, we got it figured out,
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited for, I think.
Yeah. And like, I was never like yelling about us winning the division, like all off season. I was kind of on the fence. It's kind of like this season. I was just like, let's just wait and see. But then people were like, like saying all the stupid stuff. So I was like, all right, I'll just say it. If I'm leaning one way, it's that we're going to win the division. Like, I'm not like, and I don't get all pumped up about winning divisions. Like, that's not a goal the Packers have. I mean, it's obviously one of their many goals, but like, I don't buy division hats and like get all excited about, we're not, I'm not a Viking fan. They can have the hats, but I do think that the Packers should win a division. But I think whoever wins the division, I mean, it's going to be tough because like this is a really young team. Like I don't have crazy expectations. I was more wait and see. But if people are going to put me against the wall, I'll guess that we're going to win the division.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess that's about all we got for it. I can't think of any other thing else. I said it's been it's been an eventful offseason, but after Rodgers left, there wasn't really much going on.
Dude, there was nothing. It was tough. I don't do a lot of off-season content for that reason because I don't like know the draft, like all that. Like I have people come on my stuff that know stuff, but like I'm not a college guy, so I'm not going to go on them and be like, oh, this is a good pick. Yeah. Like, I hope it was.
I watch a lot of draft stuff and we prepare a lot, but I don't consider myself a draft expert by any means. And it's a lot of fun. One thing I did forget to ask, the trivia show, is that we still doing that, or you?
Yeah, I actually have a guy who's a friend of mine who's helped me build like a website so that I can like have the spinner thing. It was a lot more work than I anticipated. Like when I first started it, so like I'm just gonna regroup and I'm gonna try to figure it out. But I have a dude help me, but the questions get tough because it takes a lot of time to like write all that stuff down.
What's I mean? It's a lot of work for whether it's once a month or whatever. Like you can't just do the same questions. Like there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna do it. I don't know if it'll be weekly or like bi-weekly or whatever. But when I bring it back, I want it to be good. And like I was talking to people, like I have some fun ideas because I don't want to just be. I want to be like engaging for even people watching because it'll be live and then somehow bring in the audience.
I love a good trivia show. I love a good trivia.
Yeah. So do I. I just want to make sure it's good and not a bad trivia show.
No, everything you do is good. Don't even worry about that.
I appreciate it.
Is there, like I said, obviously check out the Matt Raymond show, and then your Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Is that I already forgot what you said. You'll be the day after the game.
Yeah, I'll be getting content over at Lambeau Field this year for tailgating. But you can check out a website, themattramage.com, and it'll take you to anything you want to know about me. Find me.
Perfect. Hell yeah. Real quick before we get out of here, like I said, find the show on Twitter at Toilets Titles. You can find myself at NateDirt_19. Sorry, I said that wrong. At Nate_Dirt19. You can find Matt here at Matt Ramage. Bobby had to run. But check out our website, toiletstitles.com. And we appreciate you tuning in. And we will see you all next time.
What's up, Title Tribe? We appreciate you watching the show. If you want to catch up on all of our college football content, make sure you subscribe to the CFB Nation by clicking their link below. Make sure you subscribe to the Toilets Titles Podcast Network by clicking our link below. And make sure to catch our other content by watching these videos to the side of me.